Hey guys, this is Ro16 here bringing us a commentary. This is going to be the second set between Great, aka Hades, versus Movie. In the round of 16 of the Hana Daetoo MSL 2010. I like how Nuke does a little guttural growl thing when he talks about Movie. It's kind of funky, kind of like Clint Eastwood mixed together with the devil or something. No, wait, Clint Eastwood and then that thing with that thing on the thing on the thing. Anyway, I'm confused. This is going to be an odd eye too. We're going to have Movie at the upper left-hand corner as the white protoss player. We're going to have Great at the bottom right-hand corner and 5 o'clock position as the teal zerg. Did I get that right? Movie at the upper left-hand, protoss white, Great bottom right-hand, teal zerg. Yes, I think I did. Now this is odd eye too. 2-player map, nice little distance between the two. So Zerg gonna try to go for a heavy aggression right off the bat often enough that's not going to be too successful off the Forge Fast expand, so instead they might want to try to expand themselves across the map. They can do so fairly safely as a base at the 4 o'clock position. That won't take too long to reinforce. It is a bit of a route to run for, but still very easily takeable. Of course, a double gas the upper right and lower left end with a Zerg, which a Zerg definitely wants to take and abuse if they manage to. It's a position that's hard to defend, has 2 entrances to it, and two rather large entrances to it. So, if a Zerg manages to take up those positions and hold them, that double gas will of course be a huge advantage. Great gonna go for an overpull, so he's gonna try to get some units out there, those 6 Zerglings significantly early out there, and try to put on some pressure on the opposite side. We are gonna be seeing the Forge Fast expand. Of course, the overpull. Movie's probably going to be able to put down the Nexus and follow the cannons up after the Nexus, so he's going to be fairly safe, going to be able to defend himself fairly well. Apparently, he's not. I don't think he saw him put down a Forge yet, so he's just going to plop down a Nexus without thinking about anything else. No Forge, just screw that crap. I'm putting down my Nexus, 12 Nex right there. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Nothing. This is going to delay his cannons a little bit, so he might get in a little bit of trouble if he's not too careful. Actually, putting down the Nexus, a little bit audacious by him, but on the opposite side, we do see Great putting down his hatcher right now. I'm wondering whether he's actually going to send out a drone scout or not. I'm not quite sure. He has his overlord halfway across the map. It'll take him a while, though, to spot that whole timing thing. And I'm not sure if he's going to send out. You might want to conserve your drones instead of going out there on a 2-player map to send in a scout. So we're probably just going to assume Forge before Nexus into cannons, and probably just going to get those 6 Zerglings out there to try to kill the probe scout, and then go out there and go out there and put on some pressure. Probe scout going to come out here, going to spot the Zerglings. We're going to see whether Movie manages to. Okay, the Zerglings just going to run right past that probe. Okay, we're actually backing off right now. Actually, it would be a great idea for Great to go out there and try to put on some pressure, because I'm not quite sure how the defenses are on Movie's end. I think because of the Forge delay, it might have been a little bit behind. Gateway and cannon on the way right now. But let's see. This is a pretty decent choke up there, I think. So he might blockade that with probes. And I did not do any timing countdown thingy, so let's do that right now. 58, 59, 30. Or 00, rather. Yeah, Ro16, 30 does not follow 59. I got confused. I'm sorry, Bob. This guy is sitting right next to me called Bob. No, it's not. Anyway, 4 o'clock position also being put down a hatchery, so just going to be 3 hatch build coming in here for Great. Movie just going to try to be as annoying with his probe as possibly can. But those Zerglings in there, he's not going to manage to pick off a drone most likely, but at the very least be annoying. We're going to come up with a natural expo. There's the advantage of that the probe's not going to spot the lair unless he decides to run to his natural expo right now to try to escape. Unless when he escapes, and also the advantage that if he techs up all the way to Hive, which I assume he's going to do, at his natural expo, it means that his natural expansion is going to have much more health. It's going to be tougher to take it down. But of course, if he loses natural expansion, then after that point, he's in a very, very bad position. But at the same time, it is going to allow him to fortify it a little bit better. Going to be much harder for a Protoss player to take it down. Probe is going to be able to get down the ramp, is going to spot the lair on the way here, so just a little bit of extra information for Movie might still escape, unless speed kicks in for those Zerglings right now. The probes is going to be able to run up here to the 4 o'clock, is going to spot the extra hatchery, just going to be able to run home. Oh yeah, only 1 single drone following at this point, so that probe doing a very good job getting the full-on scouting information. Probably just going to be seeing. I've seen a lot of Muta switches, 3-base Muta lately from Zerg players. Go for early Mutas. Try to do some, and often enough they manage to do quite a bit of economic damage because a large amount of Mutas, just 4 to 5 Corsairs, just not enough. 4 to 5 Corsairs, just not enough. There are usually a couple of Scourge out there alongside the Mutalists that help against them. And really just not enough probe yet again. Trying to come into natural expansion. Going to see whether try to get inside the main and spot the tech, but not going to manage to do that. Spark going to come up. We're going to see what this is actually for Scourge, just to kill that those Corsairs that are going to be coming out, or if he's going to go for that switch and try to go for some mutas. Going to be see the initial Corsair coming in right now. Citadel of Adun alongside. So we're going to see whether Movie decides to try to go for some DTs out there to start things off, or whether he's just going to try to take up to Archon. And that would be, of course, the best bet against Mutalisk. I've seen certain players lose because they go for that Archon, go for the Zealot speed with Weapons 1. And instead of keeping those Archons back at home to try to defend, they just try to force it out, even though they spot Mutas. But if you get Archons out there at home, you will be able to defend against Mutas. Just some Corsairs in the air, a cannon at each base, and an Archon at each base, and that's it. You have yourself a fairly solid anti-Mutalist defense right there. Production hatchery is going to be added in as well. Just going to be seeing the good old SimCity. I really like how SimCity has evolved lately and for Zerg players in the last half year or so. It's only really in the last half year to maybe 1 year that SimCity has come to the face. How it's evolved to the point that basically making DTs completely and absolutely useless. I mean, there's no way early DTs are going to be able to go out there and do any sort of damage, even if you try to kill Overlords with Corsairs. The Zerg player will always be ready with more. That is, Corsair going out there is going to be able to get that initial kill and get the scout. Or not. Prove wrenching wrong day yet again. Oh man, one more shot on that Corsair. Another second Corsair out there going to try to pick up another Overlord. So yeah, it's just going to be, that's part is just going to be for initial Scourge. Still might be switching into Mutas, we're going to see, but I assume just going to be for initial Scourge to pick off those Corsairs, and then just go for mass Hydras and bust in. This is a fairly decent choke for Protoss to defend, but at the same time, you're gonna need some High Templar out there. He's getting the Templar Archives as we speak. Has some Zealots with speed, no weapons won yet, and we are gonna be seeing Mutalists out there. Zealot gonna run around and spot those. We're gonna see whether there are gonna be any defenses. 3 Corsairs out there, no cannons yet. Don't see Movie actually reacting by putting on any sort of cannons. We might just try to defend this with nothing but those forces. Now, you know what? Great Snatcher Expo looking a little bit vulnerable. No Sunken Colony. There are some Zerglings in there, but he's definitely gonna want to get all those Zealots in Dragoon. Only 4 Zealots. Okay, 5 Zealots in Dragoon, and there might be enough to fight this. There are some Zerglings. Drones coming off the line as well. Sunken Colony going to be morphing in. The Dragoon and Zealot have to get something accomplished. Going to be very careful. Going to be forced to run back home. There are quite a bit of Zerglings down on the ground. Still no weapons won on Movie. Still no single weapons one. I find it interesting that he doesn't have any weapons one at this point. Weapons one should have actually be kicking in fairly soon. Corsair is going to be fighting back. Those Mutos getting some decent shots off. A cannon going to be morphing in. The Natural Expo should be a cannon at the main as well. But pretty nice fighting back here. Mutos don't really manage to do that much. A couple of kills here and there, but well, 4 kills on one Mutos and 2 on the other. So they did manage to get some kills going. Did kill some probes, but still not as much damage you maybe would have wanted. Would have maybe wanted to be able to abuse a bit more. But still already a little bit of a harassing done here and there. Once Muto's going to go in there, going to get the scout out. Photon cannons being put down there as well. And meanwhile, Movie's just going to try to put on some pressure at the front. Several Zealots in Dragoon, but yeah, going to sacrifice the Dragoon to get a couple of shots on those Mutalisks and safely escape with the Zealots. You want to keep those Zealots alive. Ooh, managing to pick off a Mutal. Nice play there, managing to focus down one single Mutalisk. Dragoons, of course, do horrendous damage to Muta, so they're not at all effective against them unless you have a large number. You need at least 5 or 6 Dragoons, preferably with some sort of support to do any damage. Archon's out there as well now for Movie, so he's going to have a fairly decent... He's going to be able to support his Zealots on the ground against those Mutos. Also going to be able to pick up this 12 o'clock position. Some Zerglings going to try to... Oh, they're going to pick off that probe before the Nexus comes down. So Zealots landing under Mutalisk fire, so they're going to be forced to run around a little bit. One Archon and a Zealot, and meanwhile not caught in a ramp. There's only a second Archon down there as well, so at the very least they're going to be able to help support against these Mutalists out there. Evolution Chamber's on the way, so we are probably going to be seeing a switch into Hydras fairly soon. No! I thought 2 were going to go down, but only 1 single Corsair. Still 5 Corsairs out there in the air. Zealot's going to go for this here, going to try to get us around the second colony, or are they just going to go for the drones, not focusing on the second colony. 1 single Zealot focusing on the second colony. Second colony heavily damaged, so a lot of the Zealots meanwhile just focusing on the drones, trying to do some damage. More drones coming in here, going to try to engage. Archon's coming in very close now. Lurkers gonna come down. No observers in the area. Oh, nice! Using the splash damage off those Zealots, picking off both Lurkers. Oh man, that was the last line of defense right there. And the only thing keeping him alive right now is the fact that he's a lair instead of a hatchery. A couple Lurkers and Zerglings gonna come in from the back. These Lurkers meanwhile gonna burrow down. No splash damage trick this time around, but the DT is also now gonna be on the way. Not gonna be much to defend against those either. Corsair's killing a whole lot of overlords. Natural expansion completely vulnerable here. DT's going to be able to go in there and pick off this flare. Archon's Zealot's going to be forced off the ramp meanwhile, go inside the main. But these DT's actually going to run for the Swordcock position. It's also completely open. No overlords in there. And deciding not to send them in Natural Expo War, most likely some overlords are going to be expecting them. DT's going to go for this new position here. Going to be able to do a hell of a lot of damage. Movie is currently, of course, 1-0 behind. So it's a very good mixed attack here for him. Doing a hell of a lot of damage. And GG from Great. Instead of trying to fight this back, he knows he was at that point very heavily damaged. No real shot for him to get any true production out there and try to counter that. So he's just going to GG right there before it's hopeless. So meanwhile, GG for me, guys. And I'm going to bring you the third set. Hope you enjoyed and all that stuff. You know how I finish videos.